Welcome to Agree to Understand with Chris Richardson. I am Chris Richardson, and I am back here with Saniya Pearson, y'all. What's up, Saniya?
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm talking with you. How can I not be good? And those of you listening, you're going to be better too. Check out her full bio from the first episode, but just give you some highlights. Saniya Pearson, her pen name is Poetry SAP. She's an International Baccalaureate senior in high school in Capitol Heights, Maryland, and the 2024 Youth Poet Laureate of Prince George's County. She is the author of I Am Not Sure Literature, as you see me holding it up in my hands, meaning you too can get this book, and the hoodie that I'm wearing is from her as well too. You can read more about her and follow her on at Instagram on Poetry SAP and her website, www.saniyapearson.com. And I just saw you flash. Are you wearing a shirt or is that a hoodie you're wearing too?
Oh, I'm wearing a shirt. We're twinning today.
There it is. There it is. I love it. I love it. I love it. I need to get me a shirt then. Shoot, summertime's coming. I get this hoodie soon. It's all good. Show off the poetry muscles. There we go. We are talking about patience and your calling. Ooh, that word patience for me. I'll let you go first because I need to exhibit some patience in my life. So I will be patient first. When you think about patience, what emotion do you feel first?
Ooh, I feel restlessness. Honestly.
Okay. All right.
And here's the thing, right? For a very long time, I've always been going and going and going. Still am. Trying to keep myself busy and different things. And so when I hear the word patience, I think a lot about the being calm and waiting. But there's a part of me that just wants to like, do something,
Yeah.
even with things beyond your control.
Yeah.
But what
No.
about you?
I'll take off running right now. That's how impatient I am. Like I'm itching to get up from this chair. Like I am the most impatient. I think like if you were to look up the word impatient somewhere down the line, like, is that Chris's picture? Like, yeah, it is. I just don't know what it is. Like from the womb, I'm like, what are we doing? Nope. That took too long to tell me. I'm out. I'm gonna go do something. Call me later. Like I have 20 things I could be doing other than doing this one thing now. Like it's just, and it's not fear and the negative fear. It's fear of like, what am I missing? Like, what is it? FOMO type thing. It's just like, I just feel if I'm
Yeah.
patient, like, no, that just, what do you mean? There's literally a whole world outside. You're going to sit there and tell me I got to sit down and do nothing with this whole world out there and wait. I'm like, ugh. And that's, and that's just,
I feel that.
yeah, no. Now don't get me wrong. I am a nap champion. I will lazy you down. Like I will sit here when it's time for me to sit down. But that has to go through many, many rounds of long nights, many periods of just overworking myself. But when it gets to that point, like I am that literal bump on a log. Like don't be moved. I'm a hibernating bear. Like it's whatever. But I'm probably sleeping impatiently too. My dreams are probably about being impatient. So I won't lie to you about that. So what season of waiting taught you the most about yourself?
Ooh, I think the waiting period before I became Youth Poet Laureate. I think that
Okay.
is the waiting period that taught me a lot about myself. Because initially I didn't become Youth Poet Laureate when I first tried out. I actually
Oh,
applied again in
okay.
order to become Youth Poet Laureate of 2024. And when I didn't get the title the first time, it definitely took a toll on me mentally, and and that is also going back to our last conversation about attachment and worth, and how we oftentimes attach ourselves to a sort of title. So I think that season of waiting for me to become Youth Poet Laureate has definitely taught me to uh, know that everything is in God's timing, and to recognize that again, your talent doesn't need labels to live. Like there's so many things that you can accomplish without them. And then the patience with my book is
Mm,
also another
okay.
one.
Okay.
Because I, for once, for a time, I didn't think that it would happen.
Oh,
So it was a season of waiting and getting it published, and to finally have it in my hands. It's definitely something that was impactful for me. But what about
wow.
you?
Uh, to be funny, well, I mean, it is funny now, but going through it, there was a time when it's in my 20s or something. I was still living in Maryland, still with my mom, and yeah, it was just I think got arrested for the third time. Like I was literally running into that proverbial brick wall. Like I'm trying, and you hit it on the head earlier with in God's timing. You know, some of us, I can say for myself, I have a better watch than God. You know, sometimes like I know what time it is. You know, I'm gonna do it myself type thing, and we know that's the shenanigans from the jump. But the season that taught me the most about myself was I couldn't get a job. Like, and I'd exhausted my unemployment. Lord knows I wasn't spending on things I should have been spending on either. But amen. But I exhausted it. You know, all my weeks that were gone, I couldn't reapply, and I was going to places that I'd worked before as a teenager, including McDonald's. And McDonald's is no slouch, right? It's not, you know, it's work, right? It's a reputable company, all that kind of stuff. But I couldn't even get a job there. Like it was hindsight. If you can just imagine, you know, when you have taller parents or taller whoever, and they're putting their hand on someone's shoulder and like just holding them on by their forehead, like, where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? I'm controlling. I just felt God was doing. I see Him doing that now, looking back as an adult. Going through it, I was extremely frustrated because it literally was like I used to work here. I went back to the location I worked at. I'm like, that's my locker in the back. Like I used to work here. Like, you know, like this. Let me have a job. People who had like, you know, side businesses, like literally nothing. Saniya, nothing panned out. And I would never forget. I was laying flat as could be on the couch. I was there for like outside of getting up to eat, and I don't think I was showering that much, to tell you the truth, to be brutally honest, for like 2-3 days. And like my mom and my brother, like, you know, at that point I wasn't the best person to talk to anyway, but it was almost as like, well, as long as he's here, he's not making trouble, we ain't gonna worry about him. But it was like that silence was like, it taught me to look up. And I don't think there's no scripture in the Bible that says that verbatim. Hey, you're going to be knocked down flat as a pancake, and the only direction you have to look is up. But it points to those moments, right? Like, look, don't mess around. Like I've always said this, and it makes me smile now. But it's like God doesn't play cute. When it's time to come get you, like that's not the. If He got to come get you, like, all right. I was like, everybody move. Like it's not going to be cute, right? It's going to be one of those. I know exactly where to find you. I know exactly what to do, and I'm not going to kill you. It's going to sound. It's going to feel like it, but right. And I had literally no direction but to look but back at Him. And as soon as I let go of everything, fighting and all that kind of stuff, I was like, you know what, you got it. And almost it's like turning a faucet on with water. Boom, everything started happening again. But He had to lay me down flat. Like, be patient. Like, stop trying everything. Like, I'm trying to get you to do something, and you keep jumping ahead. So we're gonna have to reset the clock every time. And that taught me a whole lot about myself. It's funny now, but it was not. It didn't tickle going through it back then, for sure. Um, but yeah, that's what leads for funny stories, right? And that's what leads me to do this, what I do now. Like, I honestly like to talk to people because part of my impatience is like someone else has got to be having a better go at this than me. Let me talk to somebody about this. Like, what'd you go through? Like, what? Tell me about your path, your walk, your plight, or your, you know, the joys of it. Because some people don't or haven't experienced, you know, being smacked flat down yet, or even if that may be not be their lot in life. I'll be very petty if it is. I'll have to ask Jesus on the other side. Like, now hold on now. You put me through all, like I went through all this and they didn't go through anything. I was like, what are we doing? But again, not my time, right? How do you make peace and remain patient with those not yet moments?
I think for me, it's to look back on why I decided to do the goal in the first place, and sitting with yourself and trying to figure out, well, what is it that you really want when it is reached? Or because a lot of people say that the goal isn't the goal, it's like it's the journey along the
Mm-hmm.
way, it's the friends we made along the way. um but it's difficult to look at it that way when you are yearning for uh, some sort of sign or some sort of next task to do with your
Mm-hmm.
calling.
Yeah.
And especially when I was younger, trying to figure out where it was I fit. My brother at the time, he was already like sketching out drawings of
Yeah.
people he saw on the
Yeah.
train, and
Yeah.
um, I was trying to figure out, where I was I going to be on America's Got Talent? Was I going
Oh, okay.
to
Yeah.
was I going to like sing or dance? And um, I think taking that time to figure out, okay, well, what is it that I have done, celebrating that, and then um, what are some things that I can do in preparation? My nana always says to be still, and so I try to do that as I'm reflecting and as I'm thinking back on what I'm doing while waiting. So.
Yeah. Uh, the one of the things I do, I think you know about this, dance as well too. Not so much anymore. The knees have let me know we need to ratchet the class down a little bit. My Megan Thee Stallion knees are not there anymore, but I still go. But one of the hardest things, if any dancer is honest with you, is to be still, like your nana said. Like it is so hard to go into a dance class, stand still. Who? Me? Don't move in dance class? Like fidgeting something, like we're blinking, like, cracking our neck, like just stand still, be still is the one of the hardest things to do. I'm like,
It is.
I don't know, letting it do a little shoulder shimmy, nothing. Like, nope, just stand right there until I tell you to move. Right? It's like I can't do that. I don't know if I can do that. Do you approach writing poetry based on being at peace and patient first, and waiting like for a clear sign, or do you encounter those not yet moments when you try to like jump ahead and off the feeling of, what, I feel inspired, so that must be my sign to go, versus let me still wait for the clear sign to go.
So it's definitely a mixture of both for me. I feel as though a lot of my poems stem from that restlessness. Some of my best works have come when I can't sleep at night
Hmm.
and I get this line in my head that I just have to write down, and that line turns into stanzas, and those stanzas turn into poems. And um, I do think that with the impatience, though, I can tend to try to push a, a poem forward when it is not ready to be pushed. And so, in those moments, that's when I would have to take a step back and to view the poem with fresh eyes. Kind of like if you were a sculptor or painter, or
Hmm.
even with you, like a dancer, when you're looking at a piece and um, trying to figure out the choreography. Maybe the steps will be easier in the morning, or maybe you'll find a better way to articulate what type of emotion you're trying to portray with that dance as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. I like the way you phrase that. And why wouldn't I? You're a poet. But I've had my wake up. Oh, I got to get this out, get it down, and then it turns into, it's already 3, 4, 5 in the morning. I'm not going back to sleep. Finish it, finish it, finish it. And
Yeah.
then for me, what has happened before, it's been like, okay, you finished it, and in silence, I'm like, what? Like, like you get this inspiration. I'm like, so we're gonna do nothing, huh? I was like, yeah, and in those moments, time is relative, and I think, again, these are questions I hope that I have my fireside chat with, God and Jesus on the other side. I'm like, so tell me, the silence. I like to give, the spirit, a very sarcastic sense of humor in the most loving way. I'm like, now, good and well, you saw me frantic, anxious, waiting for a sign from you, and you just sat back and said nothing. And I'm like, you're petty, but I love it though. I love you. But we love it. We love it. Do you
Yeah.
believe? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
Oh,
no, no, I'm agreeing with you.
okay. Do you believe everyone has a calling, or do we discover it by trial and error, or just doing something and I like this, so therefore it is my calling?
I do believe that everybody has a calling. I do think that there's definitely trial and error to get there. Um, and I do think that you can be gifted in a number of things, but your main purpose with it all might be on one accord. Like for example, for me, I like to write. I enjoy law. I enjoy um, helping others, and I think that is a stems from like a purpose to want to help people. So I do believe that everybody has their own calling. trying to find it is not easy. But um, when you do, I think the first step towards that calling can be unsure because you're not sure of your footing. It'll be your first time trying to figure out the skills. So I think that's the challenge that comes with discovering your calling as well.
For sure. And I guess a different point of view, turn that question on its head a little bit. I can see where people do find success in like other things that they're successful in. It's like, oh no, that one thing that was more successful or more viral or more people know me about, that's my calling. I'm like, to your point, that's still trial and error. Like, no, that's just something that hit that day or that you do well, but it's still not your calling. Like, you still got to keep trial and error, like sharpening that one tool that's supposed to be used for everything, or more used for the things that you want to do in life, I think. Can you speak to how you discovered your calling?
So, funny story. In terms of writing, I've always been a writer. I've used to write in these blank little books that my mother would give me. I remember writing about how to make crayons. I remember. I know. And guess what? I did it with crayons too. Okay.
Oh, there.
I had to be like 6 or 8 or something like that. But
okay.
And I remember writing like fictional books. Where did spring go? Making my own characters. I was always a very creative person. But when I finally discovered poetry, it was actually in 4th grade when I moved to Maryland.
Okay.
My reading teacher actually, shout out to her. She had a topic around poetry, and so that was when I decided to like pick up a journal and start writing my first poem. And you guessed it, it was called poetry.
I love it.
Yep, crayons, poetry. But yeah, and from that day on, I just wrote every day. I was very much more consistent with my writing back then than I am now. But I couldn't be more grateful for finding that, and also finding a community, because that's when I discovered Amanda Gorman. And
yes,
that you could actually have a career, because I used to think it was just a hobby. And then opening doors to poetry community, dialect PG poets, and just so many talented, people out there, including yourself, who have artistic abilities, and finding their calling, finding their fitting.
I am so happy that you're having, and I would like to say it's her moment, but that just goes back to our previous conversation, which you all should check out, saying the word little, right? It's you just took off the plural. And when you say you're having your moment, like what? Like how is this one thing I'm doing, right? So I'm so glad that you're the I use this old adage, the world is seeing more of you type thing. I don't want to sound like too much like high school graduation. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. It is, sure. People are seeing you. Yeah. But I'm glad you, and like you mentioned, Amanda Gorman, like I saw her at, inauguration. Her poem that she read, is it Biden? I want to say that she read her poem. Yeah. President Biden, excuse me. But I'm glad that I'm also glad that you are having the exposure you're having, especially in real time with the video aspect. You have your website, all these things, because to your point earlier about you're saying when you saw her, Amanda Gorman, and like the community embracing you, and you said, oh, I can actually sustain myself. Yeah. Like back when I was in high school, it was, and I'll say it, like people who did poetry were weird. It was like, oh, you're going to be on stage with bongos and glasses, with incense, and that was it. We didn't think, okay, you're at a talent show, right? You're not going to make money doing this. Or if it was only Maya Angelou, right? It was only someone reciting MOKs, making it theirs, or plagiarism. It wasn't like, oh no, you are this poet. Oh, you have an appearance fee. We're paying you to come. Like, you have a book, you have videos, and I'm glad that this is happening for you, along with Amanda Gorman and everyone else that you're blazing the path for and following the path as well too, because it needs to be. We need that, because art is, as I'm sure has been under attack. Taking it out of schools and not nurturing it enough, and we can't sustain always being surprised when you come through the door and giving you all these accolades. And then when you look to our left or right, well, who's next? I don't know. You tell me. You're cutting it off. You're cutting off the resource. Like, everyone is not going to be as strong as Saniya Pearson, right? And you got to let Saniya know this, or let her in more doors, so other people have that fourth grade epiphany of crayons, poetry, right? Because it's that's so funny. I'll never forget that now. Crayons, poetry. I'm just gonna go say that to somebody in the subway. Hey, crayons. You're gonna be like, this dude here. How do you, yeah, no, for sure. How do you stop comparing your timeline to someone else's highlight reel?
Ooh, I think social media has messed us all up with it. Um, I honestly, and it is something I'm still working on. The comparison being a thief of joy.
Yeah.
Knowing that we're on different paths in life, like, and knowing that my time isn't going to equate to your time, and then also realizing that what you see online isn't always what's happening behind the scenes. And so when I think about how many people I may, look up to, I remind myself that, they're human just like me. And they've most likely had their own challenges and hurdles they had to go through. So separating myself from them, and instead recognizing that my worth, and again, going back to that episode we talked about previously, isn't defined by how well I'm doing in the course of their timeline. Like, if they're getting an Oscar during my timeline, that doesn't mean that I need an Oscar right now. It's like,
no, for sure. Yeah.
And stuff comes at its own time. If somebody else's laureate, that's beautiful. I love being able to pass the crown, as they say, to the next generation, and just watching them flourish and find their own footing, and not have to fill in somebody else's shoes. So I say that for myself as well. So whatever I think about to say to somebody else, like, hey, you don't got to fill in anybody else's shoes. You don't have to be Saniya Pearson. You don't have to be Amanda Gorman. Be yourself.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I need to say to myself as well. So.
Oh yeah, no, and that as creatives, needs to just be on repeat. Like, that might as well be your ringtone. The phone goes off. You don't have to be anybody else. Oh, that's my phone. It's like that. That's so poignant, and the way you said that, and it's important to know that, because, like you said, social media. Like, you look at that phone, it's like, oh, well, Saniya has on her gown today and everything, and you could hashtag it down. Whatever popular label. I'm being airlifted to my next award ceremony. I'm like, well, dang it. I got to give me one. I'm getting Uber copter. I'm getting, I'm going to go, get me a gator suit. I'm like, you don't even have no idea if that's even real. We know we live in an age of AI now. To your point, like, you have no idea other than that's a post that you're looking at. And you have no idea what they're going through, how broke they may be to keep doing this. Like, there's so many things that happen with that. But I also think it's a good motivator too, as your point. If you can use it to be a good motivator to more of what you want, establish realistic goals, and as you said, use it as a motivator. Hey, when I see this, I do talk to myself. Like, if you're gonna, I don't think we can avoid seeing other people's timelines unless you just go live in a cave somewhere. That's just the society we live in. But I think if you put in like a little treat for yourself, hey, you know what? The same with the gym. Like, if I'm gonna eat this donut, I'm going to the gym tonight. If I'm gonna look at that timeline, I'm gonna remind myself some self-affirmation. I don't have to be them. It's visual simulation. No one's gonna lie, but it's like also the mental reaffirming of, I don't have to do this. You don't have to do this, Chris, type thing. I think that would be a nice little bumper guard. So yeah, for sure.
And I agree. Like, I think that we can use people's stories as motivators. Like with Amanda Gorman, for example, I had to be 12 or 13 when, no, even younger than that. I think 10. Yeah, around 10 years old when I took her magazine interview and put it on the back of my poetry journal, and I was like, this is my future poetry book.
Oh, like, wow.
Yeah, I was so young when I desired to have a poetry book, and now I do. Or I desire to be a Poet Laureate, and I worked my way up to get to that point. So yeah, I think people can be motivators, and in that same vein, just make sure that you're keeping in mind that only you can be you. So
I love it. Only you can be you, and there's only one you, right?
exactly.
What are the dangers, if any, of moving too fast after you realized your calling?
Ooh, uh, being in, I don't want to say the wrong spaces, but mentally, like not being prepared for those spaces. Um, I think about how when we might jump into something, like for example, if I'm doing poetry, if I'm someone who is like, I want to be the greatest spoken word artist, and I never read a poem to a crowd before, um, it's definitely going to be an experience. I mean, I might. I remember my first time. I was, reading with the rest of them, but it takes time in order to like sharpen your skills. So I think that when you rush into your calling, you miss the preparation that's needed in order to fulfill it. So I think that's something too that can be challenging.
That is, you're just, as you do, I'm sure, in your daily walk, just drop dimes everywhere. I know for a fact, had any and everything I'm doing now, right? Because all this stuff, you can almost see it on the calendar. Like when I moved to New York, again, like I said before, like this, the water coming out of faucet turning on, like things just started happening. Had that happened before, since I was so used to rushing and impatience, I wouldn't know what to do right now. If your mom would have called me and say, "Hey, Saniya's ready to go," Sanaya, who? I got stuff to do. It's Saturday. I got boom, 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 boom. Like I don't respect anything about timing or whatever. So
Mm.
in the process, and I do appreciate that now for sure. With the joys of cold weather, my voice is going in and out like I'm hitting puberty. I am sorry about this.
No
D-
worries.
Does the definition of success change in your mind once you start operating within your calling?
Yes, for me it does. For me, it kind of shifts into now figuring out ways in order to help other people get to that point. Um, there was, I think it was Denzel Washington that had this interview where he said that it's like first part of your life you learn, second of part of life you earn, and then the third part you return. And so
Hmm.
I think when you get to that point of when you're established in whatever your calling is, um, thinking about how you can help others along, how you can inspire others just by recounting your story, recounting the way you faced adversity, you faced these challenges, and you got to this headspace of where you are. And I think successfulness to me is never going to be achieved if you're still climbing, you're always working, you're always sharpening your sword. Um, but I think there's definitely success in helping others to accomplish great feats and to find their own calling as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. I share this quick anecdote with you. So there was a commercial set I was on recently. I'm still waiting for the commercial to be released. You all will know this when it happens because I'm going to be ecstatic. Biggest opportunity I've had to date. All that to say, it's been, I'm sure there's in every genre, there's like, hey, this amount of time. There's like these old wives' tales of like, hey, it takes 10 years to do this, or 7 years this, 5 years this. In the acting world, or more so the acting world, it's 10 years is when that's when you're calling, or well, that's when the big opportunity will happen. It's almost like a timer. Like you got to put in all this grunge work for the majority of us, and then boom, something happens. And it is my 10-year mark. So I'm all that to say, I was on the set, and there was another black man, young, looked. I mean, not look just like me, because the Lord made me special. I'm like, no, but he was there representing, younger everything, and I saw it in his eyes. He's the same. I'm here as a background actor. My face is being seen. I've had, a part or two here. Nothing speaking, nothing substantial yet, and was over by the crafty services where I'm always going to be. When there's food, it's free. I will be there. And he came over there and we were talking in between takes. And I was on the set as a principal because I have a speaking role. And I wasn't acting set apart by no means at all. But when he came up to me, I felt the energy that I had when I approached somebody who I knew was a principal actor. But hey, what about? And I was so, to your point, to that you bring up Denzel Washington, I'm in this return phase. I was like, no, let's talk. Let's do it. What's your Instagram? Boom. And I could see the hesitation and almost the surprise. He was like, oh, you're talking back. Like, yeah. And I didn't even have to tell him I see myself in you. I'm hoping that he got that. And if he didn't, I was operating like that. And I was like, nah, do this. This is where you go to these websites, get this membership, don't pay for this, pay for that. And keep going at it and stay in touch, all this stuff. And it's amazing when you can be that. I like to envision a sponge, wring out all what you soaked up in life, start wringing it out. Here, bring your cups over. I'm wringing all this out. I'm not taking this, nor do I want to take all this to the grave with me. I need you all to do it. Right. And you have to do it because you're behind me. Right. I'm standing on your shoulders right now. Right. And it's just let's do it. Right. And to me, there's few other better feelings than knowing that I gave you a tool. Now, up to you to use it, but I gave you a tool that I know for a fact works, and I gave it to you. And I hope that you use it correctly. And I've come to that. I always joke and say, old man curse, but I'm at that point in my life, here's the keys to that car that you want to use. Here's the key. Now, if you know how to drive, you want to learn to drive, there's some motivating breadcrumbs I would like for you to follow, but I'm giving you something to get yourself started type thing. And I think we can all be a better place, as you said, to get to that point of being a conduit versus a gatekeeper, so to speak. Yeah. What is one thing you would want people to understand about patience and your calling?
In the words of my Nana, be still. Be still, be still, be still. And
it's so hard, Saniya and Nana.
but sometimes, and those moments when you aren't hyper fixating on whatever it is you're trying to get good at, those are the moments where you're going to be approached with different opportunities, when you're going to have those doors set. And of course, keep sharpening your sword. Always keep sharpening your sword. And figure out after that point where you get to the level of recognizing your calling, think about what's the turning point after that. But when you finally reach your calling, what are you going to do now? And how can you give back and, as you said, be a conduit and not gatekeep all those incredible things that you've been gifted with. So, yeah, be still.
I'll try, Saniya and Nana, excuse me. I will try to be still. Time being relative, you might want to have the world's fastest stopwatch because I don't know how long you can stay still, but we're going to try. We're all going to try. All right? Thank you so much for your time and being here, Saniya. And again, check out her book, I Am Not Your Literature. Check out her merchandise. Wear these nice hoodies. They're very warm. They're very well fitting. As a model, I will say this. I'm not saying this to lie to her. They do fit very well. So you'll be more than happy with the book, more than happy with the merchandise, and more than happy following her. SaniyaPearson.com and Poetry SAP on Instagram. Thank you again, Saniya.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Peace and understanding, y'all. Thank you for listening to Agree to Understand with Chris Richardson, where we don't agree to disagree, we agree to understand. Each guest has 2 episodes, and I don't want you to miss a single conversation. So make sure to like, follow, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Watch the full conversations on YouTube, and jump in the comments on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all the things. Stay connected, stay curious, and I'll catch you on the next episode.